are still here in a Maypakpak Medical Center, and right now, if you can see, we are actually at the emergency room for obstetrics and gynecology patients. And you see also that it is vacant, whereas before it was teeming with life, with so many patients around us to be waiting to be served. But now, we can see the emptiness that is hanging over us. I am very much honored to have with me and to interview my colleague here, Dr. Makawadib, who is an obstetrician gynecologist. Doktora, matanong ko po kayo, etong mga pasyente po nating mga kababaihan, ano po kaya ang mga kailangan nila upang maging healthy sila?
So, kailangan po, nagpa-prenatal sila, 5 in a year, 5 times during their course of pregnancy. Kailangan kumakain sila ng nutritious foods, bawal yung mga soft drinks at saka mga junk foods. And they always have to check for the cleanliness of their environment.
Heto po, you being an obstetrician gynecologist, meron ba pang pagkakaiba sa culture or tradition ng mga Maranao ng mga kababaihan that can, hamper or be risky in terms of their health, lalong-lalo na pagbuntis sila?
Itong napansin ko, every time they come to the clinic, at any trimester, they would relate to me that their mothers would advise them to go to a hilot kasi kailangan daw nahihilot yung bata once in a month. For me naman, if in an ultrasound result, it shows that the presentation is cephalic, there's no need to do that. Because sometimes kasi yung mga hilot, hindi masyado gentle yung mga kamay nila. So baka mag-cause ito ng abruptio. And it will be bad for the baby and the mother.
What are the usual complications that you get to attend to when they're brought here to you in this hospital?
So most of the time, because still, most of them have their healers at the barangays, kulang yung sanitation. So most of the time, pumupunta sila dito, infected na talaga. Most of them, pag-deliver, may retained placenta. Hindi natin maiwasan yung kailangan magpapatero ng 3 dugo, 5 dugo sa laboratory because of bleeding. Because they come from distant places. And after coming here, wala nang naiwan sa dugo nila. So we have to give them lots of blood. And yung iba, pumupunta dito, putok na yung matres. Ruptured uterus. And at a younger age, most of them, at 17, at 21, natatanggalan ng matres. Kasi nag-sacrifice sila sa presence ng hilot and they did not consult any tertiary hospital or any nearby centers.
Why did you choose obstetrics, Doktora? Matanong nga kita.
Andun yung puso ko eh. Gusto ko yung hyper ako, na nag-encourage ako sa mother to strain, na kahit nakikita ko, even if they are primary gravids, I will encourage them na kaya nila to. Even with a short stage sure, sinasabi ko sa kanila, marami yung mga pasyente, kahit ganito yung pangangatawan mo, kaya mo to. And mahilig akong tumatakbo, sumisigaw. So, ganyan ako.
So, magandang outlet pala ang maging obstetrician, Pero, Doktora Makawadib, pwede ka naman kasing magtrabaho at mag-clinic sa ibang lugar. We know for a fact that doctors, lalo na pag-specialista, can have a very lucrative practice. And yet, you chose Marawi, you chose Maypakpak. Bakit?
This is where I grew up.
It's okay.
Mula kindergarten, is in my elementary in ILS. I've had my high school in Science Training Center. I've had my college at MSU CNSM. I've had my medicine in MSU, Marawi City College of Medicine. And then had my intern at a nearby city.
So,
For
Doktora,
40 years.
40
This is the
years.
first time na nangyari ito dito. So I'd like to pay back. This is where I grew up. This is where my parents had their livelihood. So I'd like to pay back.
Ano po ba? Has it ever occurred, even as a young child, nung bata kayo, kasi dito kayo lumaki, and then dito kayo nagtapos, dito ngayon yan, you're serving as a specialist here. Has it ever occurred into your mind na, syempre naririnig naman natin, may konting mga, kaguluhan dito sa Marawi. Has it ever entered your young mind and even your adult mind na pwedeng mangyari yung nangyari ngayon?
Hindi ko inakala na mangyayari ito. Never. Never in my expectations that this will happen. Actually, in my practice, anytime a mother will call me that they're going to deliver at 2 a.m., at 3 a.m., at 12 o'clock in the midnight, 1 a.m., I drive myself alone from MSU here until here in my may pakpak.
Ibig
Safe
sabihin,
po ang
that was
daan,
safe.
Dok.
Uh-huh.
Sobrang safe. Kahit gabi, kaya kong i-drive yan. Wala akong pakialam.
So
Pero
when the
ngayon lang
crisis
nakakatakot.
happened, when the crisis happened 4 months ago, were you here also? And what were you doing at the time?
It was our Tuesday conference. And right after the conference, my secretary called me that I have 2 patients in the clinic, so I have to leave sooner than the others. And maybe that's a blessing in disguise because I have to leave earlier. However, umiiyak ang puso ko kasi naiwan din yung maraming doctors dito at the same time yung sister ko. So during the first night of siege, naiwan siya dito and the entire family hindi kami nakatulog because we were checking on her every minute.
So ngayon, Doktora, naka 4 months na tayo at mukhang malapit na ito. Sa tingin niyo po ba, ano kaya ang gustong iparating sa ating mga kababayan o kaya siguro sa mga, the powers that be regarding the problems that we have here in Marawi?
Sana magkaroon na ng peace. Sana matapos na ito, matapos na ang gulo, so that every normal netizen here in Marawi City can revive their normal life as we have before.
Ano ang dream mo para sa mga bagong silang na mga kabataan at sa mga nanay na magbibigay silang pa ng kanilang mga kabataan?
Para sa mga bagong silang, sana hindi na nila itong magisnan itong gulong ito. I hope that the Muslims and Christians will love each other, that the Muslims will not abhor any certain person because they have different religion. It must not be like that. Sa mga bagong mother na magsisilang, sana they will go to the hospital anytime and must not be afraid to seek our help.
Yes, thank you so much, Doktora. Would you like to, call a message to our viewers on what you feel about things to come, your aspirations and your dreams?
So, ganin po rin po, sana magkaroon na tayo ng peace. Sana hindi na ito maulit. Sana matapos na po ito lahat. Thank you.
Yes. So, dear viewers, we'd like to again tell you that we are here hearing inspiring stories, real stories of people who are so brave, who have that selfless sacrifice to be able to serve others despite the crisis that is going on. And as we continue on, please follow us as we go around the hospital of Amay Pakpak Medical Center. We are now here at the operating room complex of Amay Pakpak Medical Center, and as you can see here, where it used to be teeming with so many patients, so much activity going on, patients coming in and out for operation and for recovery, we find that the place is kind of quiet. But I am very much honored to have with me and to be able to talk to a surgeon practicing here in Marawi, Dr. Robert Matthew Ambakiano. Doctor, how long have you been serving Marawi?
Well, I've been serving Marawi for the past 13 years.
And for those 13 years, this is the first time that it happened.
Of course, yes, this is the first time that it happened, and I was so surprised, and it was a bit, although for the past years we have experienced that armed groups come here in our emergency room to have their patients treated, but not to this extent that it became a war.
And you chose surgery of all the specialties. Why?
Well, at first, general surgery is not the first choice. My first choice is to do orthopedics. But when my brother was involved in an incident because he was with the Air Force, he had a severe fracture of his knee. That was the time where I said to myself that I want to be an orthopedic surgeon. But later on, as I went back from my postgraduate internship in Cagayan de Oro City, I found out that most of the patients are general surgery patients. So I said that I might be able to serve more if I will be training in general surgery. So that's why I ended up with general surgery.
You said a while ago, 13 years you've been serving this place. And at the time of the siege, were you here?
Unfortunately, I would say unfortunately, I wasn't here. And there was also a fortunate side on it because during that time, I asked permission to be off duty because it was the 40th day of the burial of my father-in-law. So I was at the cemetery. So I was planning to go on duty the following day. But when I heard my phone, which keeps on beeping, I was so surprised why they keep on buzzing me. So when I saw my text messages and missed calls, I was so surprised why a lot were asking about Marawi City.
And what did you feel about it? You know, of course you were spared from that from that initial trauma. But what were the thoughts that entered your mind, knowing na ang mga kasamahan natin nandito at the time?
Well, the one listening would be quite surprised if I would say there was a bit of excitement on my part because I was excited because you know, as a general surgeon, I love to do the operations. I love to treat injured patients. And I said, oh, if there would be some casualties, I would be able to serve more because I really love to do surgery.
In other words, on one side of it,
on one side of it, I was excited, but at the same time, I was a bit worried because if indeed this was attacked by a terrorist group, which they said the Mauti group. So I know as a background that these people are really savages. So that's what triggered me to be worried. You know, what might happen to them if they would take over with this hospital? And the more I got worried because all the persons I called up doesn't answer my calls. Then one of the nurses at last answered, and when he answered me, I was a bit dismayed because she told me to keep quiet and keep my voice down because they are still hiding because the Mauti group is still around the hospital. So I said, okay, so just have faith and just pray that nothing will happen to you. Then later on, the following day, I had the news that they all were evacuated out of the hospital. I said, okay, at least that's a sign of relief. And thank God, nobody was hurt.
But then you keep on coming back despite the fact that there's war going on, there's so much instability, and we can actually even hear, you know, the strikes and the gunfires and all the shooting around us. So what made you, you know, still want to come here, putting your life at risk?
Well, ever since I became a doctor, I already put my life in the service of humanity. So sometimes I would come to think of it as that it becomes already a lifeline for me. It's something like a second nature to me. If there is somebody injured, I tend to look up and go back to help. So if I would stop coming here, who would help these people when they most needed the doctors? So if I would make that decision and other doctors would also make that decision, so maybe a lot of us, or even just a handful of us who would come back here, that's already a very good number of people who would serve.
So how do you assure your family, you know, every time you would come up to Marawi?
That's the hard part.
O baka hindi mo na lang sila sinasabihan para hindi sila
Actually,
mag-alala.
that's the hard part because ever since just hearing the word Marawi, my relatives, particularly my wife and my brother, will really react. Why Marawi? Why Marawi? Because the name of the place is already known to be chaotic. But I would just say to them, don't worry because we are far away from danger. And we have the military and our backs, and they even sometimes serve as our security guard. So there's really no need to worry. And regarding people people who come in here with guns. I mean, I'll just show to them that I'm not afraid of their guns, but I am just present there just to treat their patient. And with that in mind, I am very sure that these people will also recognize my intention to take care of their patients. So I believe for the past years, in my experience, that they also recognize that willingness to help their patients or even their relatives at that. So I did not find it a problem, even though there are armed people really coming to the emergency room just to ask for help, because they really also respect doctors once they take care of their patients.
But isn't it doubly more difficult on your part, serving the people here, considering you're a Christian?
Well, actually, in the first place, I did not find it a problem because religion is not an issue here in Amaypakpak. Okay? Because people in Amaypakpak had only one goal and one purpose, that is to serve the people here in Marawi City. So I think and I believe that everyone here in Marawi City recognizes that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Baqueno, for your time and effort, answering our questions. And dear viewers, remember this, that we are again here with real people, real challenges, and yet their selfless love and sacrifice to be able to give hope as well as healing to the people who need them actually takes paramount importance in their lives. As we continue on moving around the hospital, please come and join us. Still in the Maypakpak Medical Center, and now we are here in the office at the radiology department because I'd like to discuss and talk things out with an orthopedic surgeon who has been serving at Maypakpak Medical Center, Dr. JB Alonto. JB, how long have you been serving Marawi?
I've been in Marawi since April 2014, fresh from my training.
Why choose Marawi?
I have roots in Marawi, but I grew up in Cagayan de Oro. So once in a while when I was growing up, we'd be here almost every weekend. And I stayed here for 1 year during my first year in high school in MSU.
Yeah, because being an orthopedic surgeon, wherever you go, that's a greatly in-demand specialty. And you can have a lucrative practice wherever you go. And yet you choose to serve the people of Marawi. At the time of the siege, or at the time, that great fateful day, where were you?
I was here. I was on duty during May 23. So,
and you heard the commotion, or
yeah,
where were you?
What happened was, that was around 3 o'clock. We heard gunshots. Usually we hear gunshots here, but not that magnitude, and that it was quite near. It's around 3 p.m. But we weren't really bothered until someone told us that some suspicious men were already at the gates.
So what was your thought at the time when you started hearing that suspicious men were at the gates?
I was in the 3rd floor in our surgery office when that happened. I was about to go down to check, but everyone said, "Don't go down, don't go out, just stay inside the building." That's what we did.
Did you have patients at the time?
Yes.
And what were the patients, what were the patients telling you when they knew na heto may mga masasamang tao nandito sa atin?
Funny thing, because I had a patient OPD. I was to do serial casting on a baby with clubfoot. So, but I had my materials in the office because I prepared it already in the morning before our meeting at noon. So I actually went up to the office, to the 3rd floor, to get my stuff. And what happened was, when I was getting my stuff, that was when they told us to stay, don't go anymore to the OPD. So I don't know what happened to the patient.
So hindi mo na nagawa yung dapat mong gagawin.
Cast.
What are the common bone problems that you get to encounter here in Marawi?
Common pain is secondary to trauma, fractures secondary to trauma, long bone fractures. That's the most common because of motor vehicle accident or gunshot wound.
Okay. Now, let's go to the time na heto na, nag-siege na nga at lahat. Kasama ikaw doon sa, di ba, naiwan dito. And yet, despite that, Dr. Alonto, you keep on coming back. You know, this is already the 4th month of the problem that has plagued Marawi. And yet, you keep coming back to do your, tour of duty here. Why is that?
Well, personally, because it's our mandate, no? But in a much personal level, because I have roots here, and the mandate was to be present whenever we have civilians coming in. And we were expecting actually a lot coming from the war zone, and being just one of the few serving orthopedic surgeons here. And another thing that made it easier was the camaraderie between the doctors here. No? So when we decided, okay, we'll go back to Marawi. So, and we just had to assure our families that it was safe. So.
Yeah. So how did you assure your family? You have a little boy, I know, and he must be so worried every time you're here.
It's more of my wife now, because my wife is Catholic and she's from Manila, but based now in CDO. So I just assured her that the military has given us the clearance to be in the hospital. And it's they're already military, already stationed outside the hospital. So and it helps also that I have relatives in the provincial capital who also gave the go signal that we can go back.
So more or less, that was the assurance that you had to give to
Yeah.
your family. But then again, Dr. JB, ano ba yung iyong ninanais para sa mga, sa ating mga kababayan at yung mga nangyayari ngayon? What is your dream now for Marawi and for Amay Pakpak Medical Center?
Well, for Marawi, I hope this becomes a wake-up call because there are some values that are inherent to the Maranao that could have probably contributed to what happened. So I think it's time to reflect what are those things that we should have done to prevent this what happened. And I think the resiliency of the Maranao will always be there. And I think that's one thing that will help us regain what we have lost.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. JB. I believe also that you are one brave soul continuously, selflessly serving the people here in Marawi. And these are stories that can inspire our viewers and everybody, who care to listen, to understand. As what you said, na kailangan ipagsamasamahin natin lahat yan, di ba? Please stay tuned as we continue on with our, tour of the hospital, trying to talk to all the people who were here and who are still here.
Wala pa man ko makaatog Marawi, pero sa ako lang mga pangagpas, murag di pa safe.
Sa pagkakaroon sa akong paminaw, marag safe na gyud kay bisan sa akong nadunggan na ang mga residente busy na sad sila.
I think siguro safe naman siya kay nadakpa naman tong mga terrorist, 'di ba? Katong mga mauti. Then kung napa man siguro yung nabilin, dili man pud siguro tas pasagdahan ni Duterte.
Medyo di pa kita safe, kinahanglan pa ginato clearing o kinahanglan pa ginato pang tinabangay ta kung asa pa gitong mga uban nga mga kuan, mga autan nga mga tao, dapat lang sumpuon na sila kay
Siguro ang mga residente, especially katong mga bata nga ang ilang fare wala pa gyud na nawala, mao na atong i-permanent advice sa ila nga mahinahinay unta nato sila og kanang ma-feel nila ang kanang mawala na tong ilang mga kahadlok ug ilang mga experience, mga trauma.
Ipadayon ang martial laws Marawi aron makontrol gid ang mga bad elements kay without extending ni martial law in Marawi mo hatag gyapon na siya dako nga problema kay mag-regroup ang mga bad elements.
Siguro a business project para sa ilaha para maka-start sila for kay murag daghan man gyud naguba sila, especially businesses, then para po makatabang sa ilaha, makabangon.
So siguro kanang mag-help through kanang mga relief goods or pwede ma-share sa ilaha dito.
ako katabang yun mag-donation ta. Wama ilayo na itong mahimo. Donation, wala na nga ginagmay.
Sa ngayon siguro ang may tulong ko sa pag-rebuild ng Marawi ang paghahatid ng balita na pwede nang mabuhay ng normal ulit sa Marawi. Una, kasi yung mga marami natakot ipalaganap ang balita na ang kapulisan at ang ating sundalo, ang gobyerno ay full control na ng Marawi. Isa yun sa pinakamagandang matutulong natin. Hindi natin sila takot-takutin.
Ang tanan man tingaling tao naghandom og kalinaw panaghiusa na ang kalinaw na ang kaswagan sa lugar, di ba?
Mahuman na siya, malinaw na. Musliman o Kristiyano, kinahanglan magkahiusa ta kay parehara man ta tao.
Ang ako lang magsinabtanay na dili na unta iduangat pa nga inato nga kagubot kung naa manggaling ang matago sa gusto nga mahitabo.
Sa pagbalik nila sa pag-rebuild ng Marawi, sana mas maganda kaysa dati. I hope this time matuto na sila na maging maingat sila sa maging mapagmatsyag.
In this difficult journey where we are here in Amay Pakpak Medical Center, being a small unit only of the entire Marawi and Lanao where this unfortunate event happened, we are actually blessed in one way by having this episode and talking to our Chief of Professional Medical Services, Dr. Luz Abarquez Saber. She's actually a Christian and married to a Maranao and has adopted to the place. Doctora, you have been in this place for how many years po?
I've been here for 34 years. Since 1983 when there was still martial law, and up to this time, another martial law. So, nandito pa rin ako.
So, from martial law to martial law kayo,
Yes.
Doc. Pero nakita po namin yung inyong passion for service for the Maranaos po. Saan po nanggagaling yung inyong desire to be able to serve these people here?
Nakita kasi namin na kawawa din sila pag hindi sila nabigyan ng magandang services. Kaya nga, we stayed here in spite na at that time na martial law at that time. So alam niyo naman, nung time ni Marcos, na mahirap din ang kalagayan natin noon kasi there are a lot of insurgents and the sundalo at that time were not also refined. So, in spite the fact na inirisk namin ang buhay namin, we opted to stay.
And actually, Doc, we saw how the hospital at that time, nung nandito kayo, nasunog siya, no? And then lumaki siya kagaya nito ngayon. So it's like from ashes to being, such a huge structure. And you were part of that growth, Doktora. So ngayon po, nakita nyo na naman, heto, another siege, another problem. And yet, andito pa rin kayo, serving the people here. Masasabi nyo po ba, Doktora, na yung inyong pagsaserve sa mga katauhan dito for all the peoples to see brings you so much fulfillment as a medical doctor and as a person?
Yes, it made us our job, our duty as a doctor to help those in need. It's part of our fulfillment. At saka up to this time, we are still serving the populace of Marawi. In fact, we are inviting the patients who are in Marawi and Iligan, be it a Christian or a Maranao, we are inviting them to come back to Amay Pakpak because Amay Pakpak is a quality hospital wherein their needs can be addressed to. Kasi nakakaawa sila na nandoon sila sa Iligan na para silang mga kasi displaced sila and nandyan sila sa hospital wherein hindi naman nila maibigay ang mga services na quality. Because here in Amay Pakpak, we have all the equipments that we need, and also in the operating room we have A1, as I might say, and also our laboratory, one of the best na masasabi ko rin na pwede nating i-compare kahit pa sa mga private hospitals. Sana maibalik natin ang peace and order dito sa Marawi so that we can come back and enjoy our life again, serving those people na nangangailangan na sa atin.
Doktora, marami pong mga doctors who are also specialists who are directly under you being the chief of the professional medical services.
Yes.
Pagbalik po natin ulit when there is transformation and there is actually rehabilitation, sa palagay niyo po ba, Doktora, hetong mga specialists na meron kayo will be more than enough to answer the needs of the upcoming, mga pangangailangan ng ating mga kapwa na mga Pilipino?
Yes, pero we are still inviting more doctors to come. And we still want to continue our program for the training. And at this point in time, pwede naman tayo sigurong mag-tap sa Northern Mindanao Medical Center wherein it's accredited and being a sister hospital in the Department of Health. So we can still continue.
So makikita po natin, Doktora, na yung inyong dream, yung inyong drive, kung ano yung napag-iwanan na programs, itutuloy at ipapalago pa siya.
Yes, precisely.
Thank you so much, Doktora. And ano po yung inyong mensahe ngayon sa mga tagapagpanood natin, knowing na they are watching us, making, our purpose here is for the people to understand what we are going through and have gone through.
Yes. Ito lang masasabi ko, na sana matapos na itong gulo dito sa Marawi because as far as we are concerned, if we are in the hospital, we are at peace kung nandito kami sa hospital. Pero the problem is, yung mga tao na nandun sa mga evacuation center, sana maibalik na sila dito at tapusin nila yung bahay na ginagawa nila for the evacuees so that maganda na rin ang buhay nila kisa nandoon sila sa Iligan na para silang mga sardinas doon at saka their health will not be addressed to.
Okay, thank you so much. Dear viewers, remember this, transformation is as important as our resolution to be able to give a better life for our countrymen. And we are here in May Pakpak Medical Center, standing tall, knowing that the people here are as dedicated, committed, selfless, and always abiding in hope to be able to rise again from the crisis that they have gone through. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat.
Dynamic living, making the best of you on fire. Dynamic living, sharing the faith, we're giving the love and bringing the total you.
If you have been blessed by this program, share hope and help us continue to bring hope everywhere. Send your donations to South Philippine Union Conference through any of the bank details shown here. Hope Channel, sharing love, changing lives.